welcome to my place.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Please come and have a seat. So how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And you?
I'm fine, thank you.
In this line of business, it gives me great pleasure week in, week out to sit down and share some quality time with men and women who have made their mark in their chosen fields of endeavor, all in a bid to learn from them, to learn about their life's journeys and see what I and my viewers can take away from it. And it's in light of this that I welcome you to another beautiful time on Executive Discourse, coming to you on the network service of the NTA. My name is Ololade Adeniji Adele. This week on the program, I'm sure you already saw my guest who welcomed me into his private space here. But for the purpose of introduction, it is my honor and pleasure to have as guests on Executive Discourse today. Well, how do I begin to describe him? He's a man who has held several offices. He was one time the chairman of the Governors Forum, the Nigerian Governors Forum, a former governor, of course, of Rivers State, a former minister, and he makes bold to tell anyone who cares to listen that he's rounding off his course in law. You know, he's going to be qualified to be a lawyer. Well, how far has he gone with that? I'm sure he's going to tell us. But like I said, it gives me great pleasure to welcome on the program today Right Honorable Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi, CON. Hello, sir. How are you?
Thank you.
And it's
Once
good
more,
to have
welcome.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So for the sake of our viewers, I mean, a lot of people just see you in the public office, they know you as the former governor, they know you as a former minister, somebody who has held several political offices. What it's important to actually understand and to know who the man, Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi, is, how you started, and how life has been for you.
That's a full move.
Yes.
If it's has.
Yes, let's just, we'll cut it as short as possible.
Better because I'm writing a book on, I'm writing an autobiography. I'm doing an autobiography. And, I really want to say a bit, but I was born how many years ago? 58 years ago. I was 59 in May. Attended one of the primary schools in Port Harcourt. First was at Sacred Heart Primary School, Port Harcourt, and then completed it at St. Teresa's Primary School, Ubina, my village. And then I had to attend a secondary school at Ibrahimoma, and then concluded it. I went to my principal when he was transferred to Okolobri in Bayelsa now. Then Okolobri was in Rivers State. I had to write my GCE and Amaechi at Okolobri. But it's not called by way grammar school, Okolobri. Then it was government secondary school, Okolobri.
Okay.
Had an admission to study English at the University of Port Harcourt. English studies encompasses literature. So those of us who wanted to do literature had to go to the literature bent, while the others who wanted to do grammar, English grammar, did English, pure English grammar. After that, And then again at the University of Port Harcourt, I had to study to acquire a master's degree in literature. So I have a master's degree in African literature. I actually registered for a PhD, but I abandoned it in course of my governorship. Then started an LLB program when I became a speaker with the University of London, which I couldn't conclude in that first set because I became a governor.
Governor.
And it wasn't just the governorship, it was the fact that there was a lot of political turmoil that we had to pass through that challenged my capacity to be able to combine the ability to study law at the University of London and be able to face the political crisis that went under President Obasanjo's regime. Miraculously, I became a governor. God had his way, and then I became a governor. And then we had to face governors. After that, and I became, don't forget, I was once a speaker.
Speaker, yes.
After speakership, I became a governor. Then from governor, I became a minister. But when I was governor, I was chairman of Governors Forum. And within that period, I became the Director General of President Buhari's campaign organization. The first campaign organization to be able to defeat a sitting government. That was in 2015. I was then appointed the Honorable Minister for Transport, which I discharged until I chose to run for the office of the president. I think that's where we are now.
Yes, that's where we are now. But let's now go back. I mean, your political journey in life. A lot of people, and I think I've read in several places that, you got your tutelage from the former governor, Peter Odili. How did your political journey in life start?
The group was led by Chief Sada George, first and foremost. So all of us worked under Chief Sada George. I also worked under Chief Sada George, but most importantly was Dr. Peter Odili that gave me the necessary political support that I needed to grow. I owe a lot of respect and gratitude to God and him for that. That's why you see that despite all the challenges I face, I don't talk about Dr. Peter Odili. I don't mention his name. I don't let anybody in my family mention his name or insult him, because that would be ingratitude, knowing the kind of role he played to be a tool in God's hand, make me become the Speaker of the House in his regime, and nominate me to be the candidate for PDP for the governorship before President Obasanjo took over, trying to stop me from running. It's a long story, so I said, let's not go into politics. Because a lot of people who were with me, those of them who played different roles to ensure that I never succeeded, played their roles. But again, that's gone. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to be at grudges about. It's politics. So, yes, that was it. So Dr. Odili gave me the tutelage, the political teeth needed to use to buy a way through, going by the grace of God. So you worked under him in Pambo clinics. And you attended political meetings with him, or sometimes not with him, and all that. And finally, he urged you to go to run for the House of Assembly, and that if you won, you'd be Speaker. And we went there. Again, there were challenges. I was wigged out, typical of Nigerian elections. I went to court. There was a huge challenge at the tribunal, but the court factory overruled them. The rule in my house that nobody talks about him, nobody insults him, nobody talks anything. My children know that. My children are adults now. I'm happy to that. Most people don't know my children. And that's where I brought them up. Gentlemen, nobody should know you. You are, everybody answer his name, not your father's name. So you're not Chikamba Amaechi, because if you say I'm Chikamba Amaechi, you're Amaechi's son. My name is Chikamba.
Wow.
Yeah, Fidelis. My name is Fidelis. It's not Fidelis Amaechi. And luckily, Fidelis is a musician. No Amaechi in his name. He told me, say, Father, Dad, take your problems. Let me take my own problems. So there's no Amaechi in his name. It's my last son that will be glad to answer Amaechi. But again, he has instruction. You can, in their books, their papers, documentations, everything, you see Amaechi. But when they get to introduce themselves, they don't say, my name is Chikamba Amaechi, my name is Fidelis Amaechi, my name is Fidelis, my name is Chikamba. The last one, Lemchi, my name is Lemchi. They don't need to tell you who they are, their surname. and nobody will tell you that my children came to their office to say, my name is this and that, give me this and that. If it happens, I usually will stop that. I won't encourage that. So they are under very strict instruction to know that Dr. Dide was the vessel by which God pushed us this far, and that we should be grateful to God and worship God, and we should be grateful to Dr. Peter Dide and his family. So whatever they do, if they do anything against us, please endure. Well, there's always God to protect you. If you don't do anything against us, the only thing I promise them is that I will respond to Dr. Dide's book. Because I believe that what he said in that book was not fair to me. He asked me to go to court to retrieve my mandate. In the book, he said he didn't ask me to go to court to retrieve my mandate. He asked me to go to court for EFCC. What's my mess with EFCC? So that's the thing I will do, correct that thing, because again, he put it in a book. I need to put mine in a book so that our children will read them, our grandchildren can read them.
Yeah.
And that's what we read that. The same way I will correct the story told by Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, where she created the impression that we are all thieves who wanted to steal federal government money. And she forgot that we asked that they should not spend the excess food account without the governors, because it was not meant for federal government alone. And on different occasions, the federal government has spent that money. And because the federal government was spending that money without taking the governors along, we think they must give us our own share or we'll go to court. So all that will correct. The same thing that will correct Hadiza's assertion, where she said it was because of birthday gift. Hadiza had given me several birthday gifts until when she became MD, and I said that she gave me a bag, a Louis Vuitton bag, and I said I don't want the Louis Vuitton bag because she's now my subordinate. But the book is full of lies. We'll correct it.
Which you'll correct in your own time.
No.
When you
see that computer.
Okay.
It's for the book.
Okay.
Specifically bought for the book. We'll hire staff. We'll start writing in August. We pray we do it in 1 year. So we'll publish, everybody will hear it, everybody's side.
For a man who studied literature.
Yes.
That's in the creative space.
Yes.
You've been in the creative space.
Yes.
I'm wondering, literature, then dovetailing into politics.
Oh, Nigeria, all over the world, there's no qualification to be a politician. You can be a medical doctor, you can be an engineer. There's no particular qualification.
Yeah, but I'm wondering where that interest came from.
I honestly, I tell people, and I've said it in different interviews, that maybe if I had an employment, maybe I wouldn't want to go into politics. If anybody ever told you, and I want to repeat it, that Amaechi joined politics because he wants to salvage Nigeria. No, it was unemployment.
Okay.
I've said it several times. Then when we got there and saw that there was a need to salvage the country and the state, we did our best. You will see the several things that one would have done in the River State. I hear and I laugh. Oh, they come up with this thing you hear. If Amaechi was here, because I am dedicated to whatever assignment I have, whether given to me by the people or by God or by my boss. Now, that will take you also, what did you do as governor of River State?
Exactly.
First we surmounted the security. It is a no-nonsense regime. We first hired a contractor whose responsibility it was to give us information. So intelligence was key, and we had intelligence, and in less than 6 months, we wiped out insecurity in River State. You may say it was not total, but to a great extent. When we got into Port Harcourt, people were raising their hands to walk the street. Women were being raped. 2 months old children, 2 years old children were kidnapped. And they kidnapped Lulu Briggs, Lulu Briggs' wife, kidnapped the late Professor Briggs. Oh, they wanted to pay. I said, you pay nothing. I passed a law that if you pay ransom, go for 6 months imprisonment. I got the National State Assembly to pass a law. If you pay ransom, you go for 6 months imprisonment. It was a no-nonsense regime. In 6 months, the criminals, they call themselves, they call themselves militants. The criminals were on the run. In 6 months, they were on the run.
Yes, because that's one thing I've always wondered, how you were able to curb that high level of militancy.
I've told you that first and foremost, don't let insecurity become contractual. Don't let insecurity become commercial. Don't let people, both on the government side and on the criminal side, make money out of it. Once they make money out of it, it becomes business.
But I'm sure it must have been difficult, for people to even obey that law.
No.
Considering the fact that they were the ones affected.
Me as governor, I had a responsibility to enforce the law. So once they kidnap in your family, then let us know as government. So we'll tell you what to do. And once you do that, we'll rescue your relation. Could be your son, your brother, but the victim will be released, will be rescued. And we'll go after the criminals. So when they saw that we were no nonsense, nobody told them to leave River State. They left River State and ran away. And when we had fun, I was attending parties. I'm not a party man, but I had to attend parties to encourage River State to now come out and see that the place is safe. And I didn't go with a heavy convoy, with police. I would lead dance with police and army carrying guns around me. But what I did is to make sure that everybody who knows me, knows that I'm not a party person. I'm only doing that to encourage people to come out. And I let them 1 to 2 months, nightclub, everything open, business started flowing. Because what creates unemployment, what creates insecurity is a poor economy. The moment there's unemployment, then you have insecurity. Like if all of us were working in Shell, there'll be no time to go and kidnap. There'll be no time to go and rob. Because 6 a.m. you report to work. You leave your house 6 a.m., 7 a.m. you report to work.
Yes.
By 6 p.m. you have closed. By the time you get to the house yourself, it's 7 p.m. You barely will manage to drag yourself to your dining table, after dining table to your bedroom, because you're struggling with tiredness. You're exhausted. You want to sleep in preparation for the next day. But because not all of us are working in Shell, and I use Shell as an example, because not all of us are working in Shell, then you have that problem. I hope I have a friend whose wife was always disturbing her. I've been disturbing him. Oh, why did you come late? Oh, no. I said, okay, there's a solution. So what's the solution? I said, see, because your wife is unemployed, you're at employment.
Yes.
The moment we gave her a job, she literally she doesn't ask. Before, she would ask, why are you coming late? Now she doesn't ask. When she goes back from work, she doesn't say, where's my husband? She just will barely manage to eat and hit the bed. By the time the husband comes back, she's snoring.
Wow.
In the morning, she's struggling to give the children attention and go to work. She wouldn't even wait for the husband to wake up. The husband called me and said, but you are right too. I said, but I know that now. The moment my wife doesn't have a job, I'm the job.
But for River State, I mean, yes, you were able to wipe out militancy, but you also, alluded to the fact that it's because of unemployment. So how were you able to counter this, apart from wiping it out?
No, you don't wipe out unemployment by shooting people. No. So what we did was, it was lucrative to commit crime.
Okay.
So what we did was ensure that we got the security men trained. Some of them were taken to Israel for 6 months training, about 400 of them.
Okay.
We got the police to agree with us that when they come back, they will not be transferred. They must stay here. Okay. So we got all the checkpoints, no checkpoints in town. There were no checkpoints in town. All the checkpoints you had were about 4 or 5. Entrance to the city and exit. So we had those men that were trained in Israel man those checkpoints. Don't cause traffic. They stood at the center of the road. If they asked you to park, you're a criminal. You were 90% of the time they were right. 10%, yes, but 90% of the time when they say park, you're a criminal. And they were trained in Israel. Okay, so we got them in that's I call that physical policing. Then physical responsibilities. What is physical responsibilities? Cash in the hands of the people. What is physical? What is putting cash in the hands of the people? So we started to build about 500 primary schools. That created job. Even if it's 1 person per school, you created job for 500 people. But it's never been 1 person per school, 1 person per school. You had some 50, some 100. We were doing over 1,000 kilometers of road in literally every village. There were roads in virtually every village. And then, so they were employed. Some were employed 500, some employed up to 1,000. Banana farm. For banana farm, employed 500 per day. We had Songhai farm, where we trained people to go and set up their own farms. So we trained you whatever trade you wanted in the farm. You stayed there for 6 months. There were hostels. Then there were hotel facilities there for those who want to go and rest in that farm situation. And so you produce what you sold and funded the Songhai farm. So there were huge employment opportunities for people. So there was employment. So you have to look at the alternative. If I go to commit crime that is lucrative and I'm killed, while I have this, it may not be as lucrative as crime, but at least I will be alive. And people chose to be alive. They chose to be alive. And I was very proud of those who worked with me right there, because we were all dedicated, we were committed to our assignment, we were visiting people, we were visiting villages. At the end of the month, I will go to a local government. And that government, I will say, I gave your chairman X Y amount of money. From the budget. I paid contractor X amount of money from the job. I Are they working? Oh, no, sir, this man is not working. Oh, the chairman took our money.
So you put them on the spot.
You go with me.
So that they are responsible
the
to the
contractors,
people.
the chairman of councils will go with me.
Okay.
So, you will deny for yourself now. It's not a hidden thing. You will deny. In fact, some people start saying, oh, God, please, they will kidnap us. I say, if they kidnap you, it means that you still have the money. If you have spent the money, you say,
judiciously.
No, you are giving the money to do a particular assignment. So if you spend the money on that assignment, you say, look, I've already spent the money after
and that's
nobody will come after you. They come after you if you keep the money. So we're all responsible. We will make sure that by the number of persons who took overseas, over 3,000 students. Even though those who went to Canada, the Canadian government converted them to Canada citizens. They were mostly medical doctors. When we came, the personnel capacity of our state, medical personnel, was just 200. By the time we left, it was 600. We bought cars for the 600 doctors. We gave them accommodation in the rural areas. So we had about 300 health centers. In each village, there was a health center. In each health center, there was accommodation for the medical doctor. In each health center, there were 2 bedroom flats for the nurses, and there was an ambulance per health center. So we did all that. We see everybody can work if you choose not to spend the public money for your private interest. I hope we are not delving into politics. I'm just telling you the things we did.
Yes.
Now, we built secondary schools where we put 2 children per room.
Okay.
And 25 children per class. That's UNICEF standard. We won the UNICEF Book of the Year or something, and where we defeated Oxford and other. So we had an assignment. We had objectives. We wanted to achieve them.
And to your best knowledge, you delivered to the people.
I hope I did. When we came newly, my wife was always accusing me, why do you come back home around 3 or 4? So one day I took her, since she don't want to believe it.
Oh, goodness.
Put her in front of my car, and we drove out. By the time we ran into these criminals, we were chasing them with our car. And then I realized that I had my wife. So I turned, went to drop our wife. By the time I came back, they had disappeared. And I usually did that with the brigadier. Then it was a brigadier general. I don't know. I think he retired as a major general. Brigadier General Bello. They call him something. He's from Kebbi. He has one of these titles. He then was brigade commander. Then the commissioner of police was Suleiman Abba, who became IG. We had various at various times. Each person made his own contribution, but we had sanity. You can drive. Now, I can't drive in Port Harcourt without a bulletproof car. And policemen following me. No, I can't. That's signing my death warrant. I'll be heading to the next world.
Oh, God.
But then you could drive freely. You could go anywhere you wanted to go because we thought it was a serious business.
After having spent 8 years as the governor and with the Buhari administration, you were appointed the Honorable Minister of Transportation. Looking at that office, how prepared were you to take up that role? Looking at Nigeria, the complexities of Nigeria and the transportation system.
If you say, what did I do in Ministry of Transport? I'll just tell you that wasn't a problem. Once you're in Nigeria, you're in Nigeria. Don't be a sectional Nigerian. Don't be an Hausa Fulani man. Don't be an Igbo man. Don't be an Ikure man. Don't be a Yoruba man. If you see my appointments, my ministry was one of the ministries that had everybody mixed together. There was Southerner. There was South person. There was I appointed an Igbo person. I appointed a Yoruba person. I appointed an Hausa Fulani person. I just see, once you meet an honest Nigerian who is not a religious and ethnic bigot, you will love him. You will know that, look, for me, it's merit. For Christ's sake, Hadiza wouldn't have been the best person on earth, but I thought she merited it. And I was convinced she merited it. When she began to deviate from what we thought we agreed in terms of merit, I felt that then there's a need for any other person to come in. It has to do with merit. It has to do with the fact that you're qualified. It doesn't have to do with the fact that you come from Hausa Fulani, you come from Yoruba, you come from Igbo, you come from South, or Ikwe, where I come from. Okay, if it's a transport in Nigeria, the most important thing to look at, I wasn't in charge of roads. So I fully been dealing with road. Fashion, I did that, and you can always credit him that I didn't discharge that responsibility very well. If you came to water transport, the first thing you need to deal with is insecurity in our waterways. And we dealt with it. We dealt with it by introducing what we call, what is it called now? Well, we got Israelis into our waterways. By the time they left, it could go from Port Harcourt to Lagos using the water transportation. But before we introduced the system, we were number 2 as the most insecure maritime transportation sector. The first was, before it used to be Somalia, but it became the Yemen, that's Aden, then Nigeria. So they had this, what do they call it? They had this, you have to take a war premium insurance to come to Nigeria. So that means that the goods coming to Nigeria was going to be very expensive. But by the time we left, all that has been discharged. By the time we left, I could have told those guys who wanted to build a seaport to go to Bonny. But because I was straightforward, I'm a Nigerian, I love to be a Nigerian, I would die a Nigerian, I agreed with them that the first place you need to build that seaport was in Lagos. So we built Lekki Seaport. That seaport was General Obasanjo's idea, President Obasanjo's idea. So let nobody say it was his idea. So when the gentleman approached me and said, look, we have been stopped since after Obasanjo left office to build this seaport. Whether they say for about 11 or 15 years, that they would approach the next government. I said, are you ready to build it? They said, yes. You have the money? They said they can raise the money. I went with them. In fact, when they got a Chinese company to buy the shares, about 51% of the shares, right? I had to go with the Chinese company and those who actually had the contract to China to sign as witness to the loan that the Chinese company was taking to build that Lekki Deep Seaport. We started it, we completed it, was completed in September. But it was commissioned by people. People laid claim to it. It was the idea. They would say they supervised. Nobody supervised it. I went there every month. I didn't see anybody. When we started it was just like a desert because it was sandfield. So what is the share component? The Chinese company I think they have about 51. The Lagos State government has 20. Federal government has 5. Federal government was supposed to have 20, but I said I'm not going to pay anymore because at the end of 40 years or how many years to come back to federal government. So why do I have to pay to buy shares? So we were there after the number of years, and this case, they started counting from the day they completed that seaport. We started counting in 30 years or 40 years to go back to federal government.
To the federal government.
And we own the 100% of the shares, including that of Lagos. Then we did the assignment of having to complete the Abuja Kaduna. There was a bit of religion in that, and I think the then Minister for Transport before me didn't know how to face the religious challenges in media. What are the religious challenges? There were sisters who owned the hospital on the right of way.
Okay.
They were sisters, they were Catholics. They said they didn't trust the government, so they would not vacate there because the government had promised them land. So I said, easy. So I went to them. Do you know me? They say yes. Do you know I'm a Catholic? They say yes. So do you trust me? Do you believe I will not deceive you? They say yes. So allow us to break down the hospital and complete this track, and I'll get FCC to give you land. They agreed. I rushed to FCC. I said, give me land. They gave me land. We fenced the land for them and gave it to them, and they moved.
Okay.
And then in less than 1 year, Kaduna Abuja was working.
Was completed.
Again, credited to President Goodluck Jonathan because he started it maybe about 80%. The other place we met was this Kubwa. It was in Kubwa.
Okay.
Where they had the challenge. Then we completed it. Then we got in the trains to run, and they started running. We fixed the price at a very low rate to enable the poor. When the president was very happy that the price wasn't that high. The one we started on our own, again, credit to Obasanjo with the entire rail system. It was his idea. We read the book on the in the office. But construction-wise, no, was Buhari. Even though we agreed that President Goodluck Jonathan started the Kaduna Abuja. But we started, without any interruption, the Lagos Ibadan. If we were driven by ethnic interest, we would have gone to Port Harcourt to start. But why did we start Lagos Ibadan? In fact, it wasn't Lagos Ibadan, it was Lagos Canada we started. Unfortunately, the Chinese government was unable to fund the entire
stretch.
They were to fund $8.something billion, but they funded only 1.4. Now, so we did the Lagos Ibadan. And the reason why we took the Lagos Kano is because at the end of every year, you have 30 million tons of cargo. 30 million tons of cargo. The Port Harcourt one is 11 million tons of cargo. So if you're a Nigerian, you will take Port Harcourt. You will first construct the one that will clear 30 million tons of cargo in a year before constructing the one that will clear 11 million tons of cargo in a year. Okay, so we started the Lagos Ibadan. Then we applied for funds for Kano, Kaduna.
Okay.
We completed Lagos Ibadan and we started Kano, Kaduna. When we started Kano, Kaduna, there was no money. That's why I'm thinking they still having a problem where there was no money. But I paid the funds for them to commence that from the budget. In fact, just like I paid from the budget for the commencement of the Port Harcourt Maiduguri.
Okay.
So when they hear, oh, they've completed the track laying of Port Harcourt Aba, it was because I paid the money. Now, the Port Harcourt Aba goes to Bonny, where we also got approval to build the seaport.
The seaport.
It goes to Bonny. It goes to, that's Port Harcourt Maiduguri.
Yes.
It goes to Bonny. It goes to Aba. It goes to Umahia. It goes to Ebonyi, Abakaliki. It goes to Oka. By the way, my wife's it goes to Oka. Then you have, I think, Makurdi down to Plateau, that's just.
Okay.
But at Kafachan, it connects to Kaduna.
Oh, okay.
The intention was to connect the entire country. There's also Lagos, Calabar. Lagos, Calabar, if they commence the construction and complete it, it will take you, it has a connection to Warri then to Port Harcourt. So say an Amaechi lives in Port Harcourt and he wants to go to Abuja. You just get into the train that goes to Lagos. You stop at Warri, take the train that goes to Itabe. We've completed one of Itabe.
Yes, Warri Itabe.
Warri Itabe, it's completed. Unfortunately, it doesn't go to Abuja. But our plan was to get it to Abuja. So if he gets to Abuja, then you can take the train from Warri to Abuja.
Directly.
And they avoid all this turbulence in the air.
Now, looking at that, I still want to come back to the rail sector, but let's do the marine sector. And you talked about, the port, the Lekki Deep Sea Port, and we're also expecting to have a port, hopefully in Bonny.
Yes, it was approved.
Yes.
And the NPA was directed to use 50% of their earning every year to fund it. They've not done that.
One major issue, and which has continued to rear its ugly head, it's about the Lagos Tinkan Island port, the congestion at the port, creating, headache, even for Lagosians themselves. Looking at all that you were able to do in your time, the decongestion of that port didn't seem to finally
If you read Hadiza's book, there's a section where she said she was grateful to the Honorable Minister of Transport, for not interfering with all the agencies. I never talked to them. I never called them. I never asked them for contract. I never asked them to give somebody contract. You can be my best friend. I would never send you to Hadiza, Dakuku, or this. Like I told you, I won't say we're the only ministry, but my ministry had a company of different people from different parts of the country. Bello is from Kano. Bello was in charge of Shippers Council. Dakuku was from South, in charge of Nimasa at that time. Then Hadiza from Katsina, in charge of MPA. What is this man's name? George Moalu.
Moalu, yes.
In charge of
Niwa.
So we're balanced and allowed them to do their job. So if I was to address the congestion, maybe it would have been different. I didn't say Hadiza failed, but I'm saying it was her job to do. And I don't know if she delivered or not, is why I didn't assess that. I allowed everybody to do what they're supposed to do and their responsibilities. So another way to decongest that, and you see, it would have been worse if the Lekki Deep Sea Port is not digitalized. It would have been worse.
Okay.
But once it's digitalized, if your goods arrive, it will go the same day. That's why you will not have such crises. We are planning to also take a rail line to Lekki Deep Sea Port. The president also approved it, but it's not been constructed because of funds.
Looking at other areas of transportation, especially marine transportation, and the movement of goods and services across the length and breadth of Nigeria, don't you think that it would have probably helped to ease the stress on people to have had more openings on the waterways across Nigeria?
What would you produce?
But we import a lot.
If you have good rail line, you don't need anything there will be no problem in Lagos. As your goods arrive, it's cleared. First is digitize the process of clearing. Right?
Okay.
If you digitize the process of clearing, your goods will arrive the same day and leave the next morning. There's a rail to take it to wherever it's going to. So instead of building, Nigeria's like, brand new seaport, brand new airport. So bloody what? How many people fly out of Nigeria? Okay, so we built about 5 or 6 new brand new airports. How many people go? I think we were doing, was it 1 or 4 million passengers a year?
A year.
What's that? The airport's turnover can be higher than that. One airport in Lagos can take more than that 4 million. But Nigerians will want to hear, and that's one thing that pains me. Nigeria, you didn't build one in the River State. Crazy.
It doesn't have to be that way.
You can actually, just like the airport in Milan, it's 2 hours away from Milan. That was the advice I gave to my colleague, former governor of Ogun State. I said, you don't need to build an airport. They wanted me to give an approval for an airport. I said, I will not. Because how many hours to Lagos from Abuja? Less than 2 hours. But Milan, the airport in Milan, is 2 hours away from the city. So what you need to do is a good road to the Lagos airport. Lagos airport can process more than 2 to 3 to 4 million passengers. But every governor now wants an airport, their state capital. So when you go to the state capital, only the governor's private jet or at best one commercial aircraft. So we see as a country, we're just spending money. We need to address the poor. One day, nobody thought there would be this insecurity. Before you can drive from Port Harcourt to Sokoto at night and come back the next day, nothing will happen. Now, let everybody go to Sokoto now.
No one.
The rich men don't even drive anymore. That's why you see the volume of passengers in air transport services is high, because rich men are afraid of we the poor. It has not started. It has not started. It will come.
Oh boy. We pray it doesn't come. It doesn't get worse.
Are you the only Christian?
No.
Is God meant for only you?
Definitely.
Exactly.
No.
So why do Nigerians the default position? God is alive. Did you think the God died any day?
Moving on in our conversation.
Somebody said that once a year, Nigeria tell you we will set up a committee. The matter is dead. Oh, God, don't worry, God,
God, looking at the real transport system, I mean, that's one area that I know that a lot of giant strides were made during the Buhari administration. Looking at what you have been able to achieve and where we are at today, even in terms of insecurity, even in our real transportation system. I mean, we had some challenges even during the Buhari administration. How do we go from here?
There was a quarrel over the issue of what happened in Kaduna, Abuja rail line. I had made a comment that, look, we had asked Cabinet to approve a security outfit, a security system that will enable us to see from Abuja to Kaduna. So if anybody breaches the rail system, we're able to know, and we will not allow this thing go. And it was just 3 billion. People felt, well, I don't think, some people were carrying the rumor it was Amaechi's contract. If I want to see, I want to see 3 billion, that's too small. I could have had all these degrees and I won't be able to see more than 3 billion. That will be insulting. But the honest truth is that we have to install that equipment to enable us to see from Abuja to
have
Kaduna.
Eyes
yes, because
there.
What we were then doing was that the Air Force was hovering with the helicopter all every day. Just for 10 days, they didn't do that. This was struck. But keep me away from politics. I don't want to go into politics.
You studied literature,
yes.
And I know that you're a lover of art, you're a lover of
yes.
books.
Yes.
I also know that you seem quite close to Professor Wole Soyinka.
Yes.
Is it because of your love for literature? Is it your love for literature that has brought you together? Or what's it about?
It was my love for literature and my respect for his... You see, I respect people who are brilliant. That was my friendship with El-Rufai. He's a brilliant mind. I don't mind whatever he does in politics, that's his business. But in terms of being brilliant, El-Rufai is extremely brilliant. And that extremely brilliant person that was my friend, or that is my friend, is the former Emir of Kano. Sanusi is brilliant. I respect them. I wish I could be that brilliant. I'll be very arrogant. When they say El-Rufai is arrogant, Sanusi is arrogant, I said, can't be that brilliant and so that you'll be arrogant. I'm not that brilliant, but I love books. I make you laugh. One day, my son entered my library. My library is twice this size, if not 3 times this size, and saw the books. Dad, I said, yes. My second son,
Yes.
by the way, who is a musician. Dad, do you read all these books? I said, no. After politics, I will sit down to be reading them. Dad, are you a book collector or a book reader? Since then, I stopped buying books. Because if I travel, I buy boxload of books I bring back. So now, in my library, I have quite a large number of collections.
Goodness.
But now, like that's Adam Smith.
I saw that.
That's Adam Smith. I'm reading it. I'm reading because my son has asked that question. So I'll continue to read and see how far I go. Even not by July, I would have finished my master's degree in law, and I would have finished my other first degree in law in University of London. My plan is to write my book and also read other books. But I think the writing of the books will interrupt or distract me from the number of books I want to read. But I'll continue to try.
Read. So it's your love for literature and your respect for Professor Soyinka that have
How
brought
you that mind? If you are not a relationship guy, he will lock himself up in the room, and in 1 month to 2 months, he'll pull out the book for you. In response to whatever you must have done.
Yes. And talking about law, because you make bold to tell anyone that cares, just as you've told me now about, studying law. Why law?
Again, law will drag me to politics. Tell you why I said yes, true. Because it's anger that made me go to study law. Even from when I was speaker. Once I think that we're not doing what we're supposed to do, in order not to attack the government, I just go into academics. But did I want to read law earlier? Yes. But I lost that interest after I got a master's degree in literature. But anytime you see me go back to university, then something's wrong with the system. I might not have been like, they may did it right to, I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm saying I feel what we're doing is not right. The way to, but I will have solace in going to school where there is a disciplined structure. So you come to school by 9 I'm in school. I'll be the first to come to school. You close by 6, by 6 I close. I'll be exhausted. I managed to drag myself to the office to sign some documents for them and go back to the house to sleep. By 6 I'm awake, by 9 I'm in school, by that. So that keeps you away from anger, keeps you away from shouting at your government because of the principle of once you are in government, you either complain inside or you resign. If you don't want to resign, then you have no right to publicly indict the government. So at the 2 occasions I've had to study law, I don't think I was too satisfied with what was going on. I may be wrong. I didn't say that my not being satisfied was right. So if I'm not satisfied, I don't want to criticize the government. I just divert that energy to academics.
All right. Now, I know that there are other things you like to do. I mean, I think I must have seen you sing a song somewhere. And even in your days as a governor, anytime, and even during the President Buhari campaigns, I would see you go out there and you loved to sing and dance. Where is this from?
Okay.
Is it for the creatives or what?
My son is a musician, so that's enough.
No.
My second son is a musician. You Google him, you will see that he's a musician, and he has some music that all of us dance to in the house. But I'm an accidental musician. When I say an accidental musician,
how do you mean?
Lord, send forth your spirit and renew the face of the earth.
Those things people see on social media, because I'm trying to promote some young men and women who are members of the choir in my church who wants me. They always come to approach me to sing some listen for them, and they will put it on social media. Everybody will start screaming. The truth is that it's intended to celebrate them. But because of the person involved, because of celebrating them, people don't even recognize them. They go after me. I've told them, we either stop it or they continue to bring me to the public attention. Not achieving what the objective.
So what the objective for which was set out.
Right.
But you love music,
I love
obviously.
music. I love
and
music.
You love to sing.
I love not just to sing. I have a very husky voice.
Hey.
I love to dance when I was young. Now at 58, why should I be dancing?
Why shouldn't you?
I remember one day I came out with one funky jean, white shirt. My second son again is a troublesome boy in my family. Every other person,
yes, because you keep talking, you keep
every other person
mentioning
in the family, fears me is my second son that's bold enough to always confront me. The dad. I say, yes. Let's not meet you in the nightclub.
Okay.
Meanwhile, he doesn't go to the nightclub. My children don't go out. They're always at home. But just say, Dad, let's not meet in the nightclub.
Yeah. Yes, you said you love music. I mean, and you're an accidental musician. But I also came across something about you somewhere where you were talking about your favorite musician and the song that you like that seems to be trending with you now. Tell me.
This is me. Ababola, I don't know why I am biased pushing you. Ababola is the current music that is trending. And I like Ababola.
Tell me.
Both Igbos, Yoruba, House, everybody's singing it. But it's 30% Igbo and 1% Yoruba. And then 69% English. So everybody seems to, even when they reach the Igbo part, like where it's Igbo, maybe if you're Yoruba, you close your mouth, that one will pass.
Okay, so maybe you should just sing it for me.
Why would I sing it? Go check this, you will see it.
Just humor me.
How?
Just humor, myself and the viewers.
Undefeated. Undisputed. How much is money? Is nothing.
Now you know. Now you know. Now you know. Now you know.
It's about the best music training in the country now. It's training everywhere. Everybody wants to dance it, and it's good. And it was by flavor. And flavor, you see, just like football. A good music, whether Yoruba, Hausa, or Igbo, it doesn't matter. People like it. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so take Ababola. The musician they give the young lady who said, I like it through, it's Yoruba. So the two things Nigerians love most that bring us together, music and football. Once Super Eagles is playing, check the road is empty. Everybody's at home watching.
Are you a lover of football?
Yes, of course. If you check the football team, no Hausa man, no Fulani man there. But the Hausa Fulani did not complain. But if it's schools, they're building, they didn't give me my own. Where is my own train? Where is my own railway? But you see, in the Super Eagles, they wanted the best so we can defeat all that. But it's a competition. Thank you.
All right. Right Honorable Rotimi, Chibuke Rotimi Amaechi, I know that you've tried to run away from politics, but looking at you now and law and all that you're doing, what is next after this?
What is next after this? Sit down at home.
No, not the impression of the you that I get. You can't just sit down now.
But after that, I've been at home for the past 1 year.
No, you seem to be a restless spirit.
Okay. Somebody asked me last week, where are you? I said, home. I said, what I did? I said, Judith has locked the door. I don't go out to do. She doesn't let me go out. That's enough. That controls that restless spirit. So I'll be at home until there are further challenges. I don't think I want to do anything else. I'll just start home, read my books. You see, when somebody asks, why are you doing 3 courses at the same time? I say, because law school won't be enough to take away the energy that I have. So by the time you read book for master's degree, don't forget if you fail, you're out.
Yes.
Okay. So you should not, that's why you can afford to fail the LLB, but can't afford to fail the masters. But if you fail the masters, it's over. But LLB, you have 6 chances. Okay. So I had to read tenaciously to ensure I pass my master's degree. I have to read to pass the LLB degree. If not, you earn it. The rest of other persons will take your degree in those 6 courses. You must complete them. And then I also have to read to pass law school. It's very challenging to be in law school.
So where exactly are you at?
Way,
okay.
All these other 2 degrees are online. Don't forget. Okay, so the master's degree is online. The LLB degree in law is the same. Online. You write the exams online and all that. The only one that's not online and that is full-time is in law school.
So where are you at now with all of this, with these 3 degrees, with these 3 projects that are in your hands?
So we've completed the law school. We're waiting for the result. What's needs to be called to the bar. And then if I pass the exams in May, we would have completed the LLB program. If I pass all the exams in July, then I will have a master's degree in company and corporate law.
So are we going to be seeing you in the courts?
To do what? Exactly.
Asking.
Exactly. To do what now?
You tell us.
Nothing. I won't be going to court. I won't practice.
Okay, you won't practice.
Well,
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi, even though you ran away from quite a lot of questions that I would have wanted to ask.
You dragged me into politics. Watch what will happen tomorrow. Even they will say, why didn't he say this? Some will abuse me, some will agree with me. Just like those who say, why did he say that Nigerian got the government they deserve? It does not know that the elections were rigged and the courts were that. I said, what did you do? So if you were rigged that, what did you do? If you went back to your shop, that means you agree that the election was not rigged. If you thought it was rigged, then you make sure you do something that will make government know that the election was rigged and it's unacceptable. But Nigerians will tell you, God, they don't worry.
Anyway, thank you very much for having been a part of this show today. But before I let you go, as it's our style on Executive Discourse week in, week out, it's important that no matter how good you feel, no matter how bad you feel about the situation of things, I want you to speak to Nigerians, to speak to the consciousness of Nigerians, whatever it is that comes to you.
If you don't take your destiny into your hand, you'll be there. Honestly, Nigerians can't continue to complain every year. So what have you done? 2008 elections, which I say was rigged. 2000 this was rigged. This and that. So what have you done? You see, the elites will continue to benefit from the poor structure of governance, which puts money in their pocket, unless they poor, because they are impoverished. The bag of rice I hear now is 50-something thousand naira, or some say 60.
Yes.
Okay, so when Buhari was in government, it was less than 50. You are abusing it. Now what have you done? Right? I hear augmenting was 8,000 in our government. Now it's 55,000. So it's your business. I actually don't. I know that most of my friends won't like it. If you tell them don't say that, you have to show empathy. I used to show empathy. But you see, like I told you, so all my children are scared to talk to me. But I have a second son who talks to me now. He will come and knock on the door. Dad, can I see you? I say, see that. Dad, did you think you were right? So he guides you on what to do when next you're approaching your children. My first son is prim and proper. He's a medical doctor. So you must. In fact, it's my second son I used to tell them before, leave that. Whatever he says is law. You know him now. It was my last son that used to protest. Then he joined whatever dad says is law. And this one now became the one that protest. That law must look at it again. So what have they done? Nothing. So we'll deal with them. We'll stay with them.
Well, what I'm taking away from this conversation today is that we have to do something. If you feel really bad about a situation, it's time for you to do something about it to probably ensure and drive a change. Once again, thank you very much for being a part of Executive Discourse.
You're welcome.
Right Honorable Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi.
You're welcome.
All right, that's the size of our package this week on Executive Discourse. Well, I do hope you've been able to take something away from this man, because even though he has shied away from some of the questions that I would have wanted to ask, somehow, well, he has made his opinions felt. I mean, we know what he's about. Let's do this again, same time next week on the network service of the NTA. I am Ololade Adeniji Adelim. God bless Nigeria. Bye for now.